with very quickly our couple of initial ranges of motion all together. If there is something from around this position, so maybe it's your cat and cow, just lean it forward. Maybe it's from here, a spinal twist, a lateral stretch, something that you really like to get a couple extra in of, feel free to take the first couple of moments as we get started to find your preferred initial range of motion. As you are finding that range of motion, go ahead and take that scan of the body, starting from the top of the head and moving to the tips of the toes. And as you take that scan, it is, as always, without any judgment. So just noticing how you're feeling, where those points of tension are, where those spaces are that could use a little bit of extra love and attention. And then go ahead and take 2 or 3 more nice deep breaths if you've got an initial range of motion going on. Maybe it's that cat and cow, maybe the roll of the head and the neck, maybe a shoulder roll, maybe a lateral stretch. Fabulous. All right. And then with that next inhale and exhale, I invite you to go ahead and make that transition if you're not already on those knees. And we're going to take it just to a high kneeling position. So a little bit more comfortable on those ankles. So taking it just a little bit away from the floor, this might change your range of motion in some of these stretches tonight. And we're going to start with our roll of the head and the neck. As usual, we're just going to do 2 in each direction. So your inhale finds that super long spine. That exhale drops the chin to the chest. And then nice and easy here, go ahead and roll that head side to side, right here towards the right shoulder, nice stretch. And you're already reaching down to the side. Exhale brings us down through center, and then second side, first time. And then we're just gonna go one more time each direction. Exhale drops the chin to the chest, first side, and then chin to chest. Second side. That next exhale drops the chin back to the chest. And then go ahead and lift that head back up nice and long at center. Give me 3 shoulder rolls in each direction, up towards the ears, down and back. When you finish those first 3, switch it up. And when you finish those second 3, relax those shoulders nice and low away from the ears and give me a couple wrist circles. We're gonna do some work in our plank, in our downward facing dog, and moving between those 2 a little bit. Go ahead and change directions on those wrist circles. Give me a couple there. Excellent. Go ahead and relax those arms. We're going to take it into our lateral stretches. Inhale takes us up, fingertips towards the ceiling. Now this is going to be a little bit more of a reach. So we're going to go ahead and take that hand down towards the mat and reach up and away. Maybe you don't quite reach. Maybe you're here. That's okay. Inhale up to center. Exhale, second side. So you get a little bit more space to play on this. Nice. One more time each direction. Inhale up to center. Exhale, first direction. And second side, final time. Fabulous. Inhale takes us up to center. Exhale brings the arms down and around. We're going to do just a couple of wrist pulls. So bringing it up and then down and through. Find that first side, a little bit of tension there, getting that stretch going. And then go ahead and hit that second side for me. Same thing on that other hand, pulling it up and then down and through, getting that forearm ready to go. Fabulous. And then our final range of motion, as usual, is going to be our spinal twist. I like to take my knees a little bit wider for this one. It gives me a little bit more solid base. And then it'll be a little bit faster for me because I do kind of like that little bit of a pulse there. So getting that nice twist, if you are someone that doesn't feel good for, you can always sit it back and find that tension through that opposite knee, side to side. So taking your option, whichever one feels a little bit better for you. I like to do that kind of double pulse when I'm standing or when I'm at that kneeling position. Excellent. Go ahead one more time each direction. Okay, and then when you finish that last one, coming on back to center, and then all we need to do to make our transition to hands and knees is, if you're facing sideways like I am, turn it sideways. And then bring those hands down to the mat. We're going to go right into our cat and cow from there. So finding that nice inhale and exhale from that hands and knees position, finding that spinal range of motion, getting that flow going. As always, when we're in any of those kind of plank style positions or this hands and knees position, we don't want all that pressure to be through the wrists. So making sure we've got a little tension all the way up into all 10 fingers. Excellent. Go ahead and give me 2 more nice deep breaths, twice more in each direction. When you finish those last 2, go ahead and bring that spine back to your nice neutral. We're going to start that core warm up from here. So I want you to go ahead and send that right foot back long as if we were going to press into our plank. We're going to pause there. We're going to do a couple of hovers. So our right foot is back nice and long. All we're going to do is lift our knee off the mat and pull in towards center. And then I want you to make sure that you're not lifting those hips. So we're not pressing up into our downward facing dog. We're just pulling our knee up for that little bit of a hover. Maybe you pull it in a little bit closer towards your chest like you're in that mountain climber. We're here for 3, 2, 1, and then go ahead and set it back down. Give those wrists just a half-second break, and then go ahead and take it back into it. So plant those hands, all 10 fingers, press that knee up in towards center, pull it off to hover, get that core active, get those shoulders ready to go. 3, 2, 1, go ahead and lower that down. We're gonna do one more. Give those wrists that half-second, give those shoulders that moment. Here we go, plant those hands, lift that knee, give me that hover, pulling it in, get that core active. 3, 2, 1, excellent. Go ahead and set that down. We're going to trade, but we're going to take a moment in our plank first. So send that left out to meet the right. Find that nice push-up plank position. Get those shoulder blades separated. Get that nice sturdy base. Fabulous. We're here for 3, 2, 1. Keep the left leg out long. Pull that right knee underneath. Give those wrists a second. All right, here we go. First one on that second side. So right knee is pulling up and in. Again, keep those hips nice and low. Here we go. Pull it up. Pull it in nice and close. Active core. 3, 2, 1. Set it down. Give those wrists a moment. Excellent. Bring those hands back down. A little pressure through all 10 fingers. Here we go. Second one. Pull that knee up and in. Get that core activated here. 3, 2, 1. Send it down. So we were using that isometric hold. Not only is this good work, but it's also that good activation, that stabilization. Last one on this side. Here we go. Pull it up. Giving it here for 3, 2, 1. Send it down. Excellent. All right. Same transition. This time, instead of pulling that opposite knee in, we're going to go up to our down dog. But first, take it to your plank here. Send that right knee out to meet the left. Give me that high push-up plank, that activation. Check out that form. Make sure those hips are in line with the shoulders and the heels. Nice. We're going to transition to our down dog in 3, 2, 1. Press it up and back. Find that stretch. We're going to take a couple moments here. So alternate, maybe pressing those heels down. Maybe press the chest towards the thighs. Fabulous. All right, so our next transition, rather than that hover, it's still going to be a little bit of a warm-up, but we're going to get a little more movement. We're going to move between our downward facing dog and our child's pose, but I really want you to think about using that core for this transition. So sending those knees down, sending those hips back towards the heels, you get that nice stretch, that nice release for those wrists, for those shoulders. As you come up, activate the core as soon as you lift those hips. Turn those toes under, keep it active, and then think about pressing those hips straight up. So we're not using the legs, we're not using the shoulders, we're using the core to pull those hips up nice and high into that downward facing dog. Let's do that a couple of times. Take it at your own pace. Pull those knees down, send those hips back, take that stretch, give those wrists a second. If they need a little bit more, give them a roll or two. If they need a little less, keep going with that transition. Pulling it up, activate that core as soon as those hips lift. Keep it active and use it to pull up towards the ceiling. Go ahead and get moving there, again, at your own pace. If you're moving a little slower or faster than me, that is totally fine. Couple times in each direction. Fabulous, fabulous. All right, we're gonna take about 3 more nice deep breaths. We are going into something else that's gonna be from our down dog. So if for those 3 breaths you prefer to give those wrists a break, you can find that child's pose. If not, we can keep it moving. 2 more nice deep breaths. Excellent. Wherever you are, go ahead and meet me back in that downward facing dog. We're going to use that activation that we found. We're going to take our 3-legged dog to our half mountain climber. I'm going to start with that left leg. Same thing here. So right leg is planted. Left leg is going to go up into that 3-legged dog. So we've got that transition from here to that hover position that we found during those activations. So scooping under, pulling that knee in and up, getting those hips nice and low, and then extending back up for that 3-legged dog. So a couple times here, again, go ahead and move at your own pace, whatever feels good for you. Pull that knee in nice and close and try and take it right down center, so right between those elbows. Excellent. For your next one, whenever you come out the next time, go ahead and take it across. So take that left knee towards your right elbow. Change up that range of motion a little bit. Fabulous, fabulous. Give me one more like that, and then aim that left knee towards that left elbow, so out towards the side. Looking good, looking good. Give me one more of those, left knee towards the left elbow, and then set that left foot down next to the right. Depending on how you're feeling, you can keep it right there in that down dog, or we've got 2 nice deep breaths. You can take it down to a child's pose, give those wrists a little break. All righty, excellent. We've got to hit that other side now. So when you're ready, go ahead and plant those hands. Take it up into that down dog. If you can get out of it. Right knee this time. Same thing on that other leg. Here we go, 3-legged dog. Press it up and back. First couple, we're taking it right down the center. So shoulders over wrists, knee pulls in, just like that hover that we had before. Excellent, excellent work. All right, now take it underneath with your next time. So underneath and across, right knee towards that left elbow. Don't worry, guys. We only have one more from these downward facing dog positioning before we give those wrists a break. Right knee towards that right elbow. Here we go. Couple here. Finish out strong. Give me one more, right knee towards the right elbow, and then same 2 options. You can stay in that down dog if you're feeling good, or you can send those knees down, hips back towards the heels, give those wrists a break. Whew. And again, you can roll those wrists out if it feels good. Maybe it feels good to turn the tops of those hands to the mat and give them a little stretch in that opposite direction. Whatever you need. Maybe it's the shoulders that you're feeling it. Give them a roll or 2. 2 more nice deep breaths. All right, our final movement from that downward facing dog is going to be a little bit more balance. So we're going to be lifting the hands instead of the legs. So when you're ready, we're taking it into that down dog, final movement that we're going to initiate from it. And I am going to alternate sides on this one. So only are going to have to do it once. We're going to take that downward facing dog. We're going to shift it out to our high push-up plank position. From there, as we press it up and back, we're going to take one hand and take it to the outside of that opposite leg. So a little balance here, a little bit of stability. You don't have to touch. So if it's just a reach, that's totally fine if you're not feeling super stable. And then press it back out to that plank. And then alternate. So same thing, right leg to the, or right hand to the outside of that left leg, out to plank, and then left hand to the outside of that right leg. So we're reaching under and across. Couple times here, couple times here. If those shoulders and wrists are feeling it, that's okay. We're almost done. We're almost done. And if you're finding that painful range of motion, I want you to take a break. Give me a couple more here. Nice. Keep it moving for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Go ahead and take those knees wide, hips back towards the heels very briefly. In that child's pose. All right, we're going to use our 3-legged dog as our transition to our half pigeon, as promised, a little bit less on those wrists. So very briefly, up, downward facing dog, right leg, 3-legged dog, sweep it underneath, shin underneath those hips, top of that left foot, sink into it, find that little bit of a relief, a little bit of a break, whether you're from those palms, maybe bring it down to those elbows, Maybe bring that forehead to the backs of those hands. Give yourself a second there. All right, nice. We're gonna do a little bit of hip work from here. So go ahead and bring it back up to those palms if you're not already there. We're gonna send that right hip down to the mat, and then we're gonna pull that left one kind of up to our side. Now from here, we're gonna make a little bit of an adjustment from where you might naturally fall in this positioning. So you can see my legs are pretty close to my body. I'm gonna move this out of the way so you can see a little better so that we're not dark. So I'm a little bit close here in. We're gonna make this our 90-90 and get a little bit of hip mobility work in tonight. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is that front leg, my right leg. So what I want is for that thigh to come straight out from the hip, and then I'm gonna make that 90-degree angle with that shin. So the shin should be straight out on the opposite direction. So I've got this 90 degrees on this front knee right in front of me, and I want it to come out straight. Now, the second one is the one that's gonna feel a little bit weird. We wanna make the same angle that we have with the shin with that back thigh. So I'm gonna press it back just a little bit. And if this starts to feel uncomfortable, take that weight down onto that right hand and release a little bit of that tension. And then same thing, this front thigh, this right thigh is gonna match up with our left shin. So I've got two 90-degree angles with those legs. We're in that 90-90 positioning. And then I want you to sit up as tall as you can. So up nice and tall, and you might feel this through, this is my left on the side here, through that left hip a little bit. That's okay, that's what we want. We wanna work on that internal rotation there. This one maybe feels a little bit natural because we do work on that pigeon so much in this class, and that's okay. Now from here, we're gonna find two ranges of motion. That's gonna be working with this side leg. So for me, my left leg, I know I look backwards, that's okay, bear with me. So my left leg, I'm gonna keep it up as tall as I can. So if you're a little bit down towards the side because this is a little too much, that's okay. And if you do cramp up, give yourself a second, release it, bring it back into it. We're gonna start with a knee lift on this outside leg. So the heel and the toe are gonna stay down, the knee is gonna lift. So from here, I'm gonna place my hands on my shin and then just lift that knee a little bit up here and then lower it back down. We're gonna do 5 of those. So stick with me here for 5 of them, that little lift and lower. And if you don't have a whole ton of range of motion, that's okay. Maybe it's just an inch or two. That's fine. We're sitting up as tall as we can, keeping that tension. Fabulous. I've got one more here. And then we're going to switch. The knee is going to stay down and the toe and the heel are going to lift. To accomplish this, you may need to lean forward a little bit. I know I do. That's okay. Maybe place those hands right in front of that shin and then just lift that toe. Now you can see I only got it like a ½ inch off the ground. That's okay. Give me 5 of those and I'm already starting to cramp. So give yourself that second if you need it. Bring it back in, find that 90, and then give it that little lift. So just 5 of those. We're working on that internal rotation. This is where those hips need it, especially if you're sitting all day. You're not doing that internal rotation. If you sit with your legs crossed, you might feel this. Nice. When you finish those 5, give yourself a little break. Whew. Excellent. All right. When you're done with those 5, we're going to keep that right leg in front. We're going to take that left leg around and we're going to find a half fold for just our transition, our stretch. So just taking those fingertips down towards those left toes. So a little bit of mobility work in here for me today, a little bit of that hip flexor work. Excellent. All righty. And then we're going to take it back around through that half pigeon, switch sides, and hit our 90-90 on the other side. So I'm not going to reset my mat to go through my half pigeon. I'm just going to turn around. You feel free to take that weight onto that right hip again, circle that left leg around, plant those hands, right leg, 3-legged dog. Set it down next to the left, and then left leg, bring it into that half pigeon first. So we're not going straight into that 90-90. We're taking that little break in that half pigeon, sinking it down. Again, you can stay on those palms. You can bring it down a little further. We've got a little bit of time in that half pigeon here. Fabulous. Give me one more nice deep breath wherever you are. Alrighty, if you found those elbows or that forehead to the mat, go ahead, bring it back to those palms. This time we're sending that left hip down, pulling that right knee in, And then we're going to make those adjustments to find that 90-90 with that second side. So this time my left foot is in front. Once again, same concept. The left leg is coming straight out from that hip. The shin is right in front of me, right, like maybe parallel to where the short edge of your mat is if you're still facing that side. And then go ahead and adjust that right foot or that right leg to our side. Again, front shin is parallel to that back thigh, and back shin is parallel to that front thigh. So same thing, our 90-90 here. And then sitting up nice and tall. Maybe, and probably, this side feels different, whether it feels better or worse. That's dependent on your hips and how you're feeling, but it might. That's okay. Give yourself that little leeway if you need it. If you can, maybe set it up a little taller than you did on that first side. So it just depends on you and how your hips are this evening. Fabulous. All right, now we're going to start with that range of motion. That right knee this time is going to be that lift and lower. So again, 5 of those. If you need that prop here on this side, that's okay. Find that lift and then that lower back down. When you finish those first 5, give yourself that second. Maybe if you need it, shake it out if you started to cramp. And then we've got that second range of motion, that tougher range of motion. Again, you can fold it a little bit forward, bring those hands right in front of that shin. And then we've got that toe or that heel lift. On this side, it definitely feels different, especially on this second range of motion. You can always bring it a little further forward if you need to. 5 of those. When you finish those 5, go ahead and circle that right leg on around. We've got that half fold here. So right leg is out long. Just take that nice hinge at those hips, fingertips towards the toes. Fabulous. Go ahead and sit it up nice and tall here. All right, we're going to take it back 3/4 of the way. So not quite to our 90-90, but I am just going to fold that right leg back around to the side. So kind of that modified version where I'm in a little bit closer. We're going to do some hip lifts from here. So my left leg is in front. My left hand is going to come behind that left hip. I'm going to reach up with my right hand. I'm going to lift those hips and press them forward. So this is going to feel like a good stretch, especially through that right hip flexor, pressing up and forward towards the front of the room. Those hips come up and that arm reaches up and back. After you pause there for a second, bring it back down. Give me 3 more of those. So 4 total, that nice lift, that little bit of a stretch, and then bring it back down. And when you finish that 4th, all we're gonna do is switch sides. So from here, you've got some options. You can circle the legs all the way around, or you can come up and over and just change the direction that you're facing. Since I want to be facing you guys, I'm going to circle around so that my right leg is in front and my left leg is to my side. Same thing, my right hand comes down because my right leg is in front. My left arm comes up and I press those hips up and forward for 4 reps here. Fabulous. When you finish those 4, go ahead and bring those legs back around to the front. Give me one brief forward fold, or maybe a sip of your beverage, or another range of motion that's going to feel good. We're going to get into some core work next. I know that was a little bit slower, especially than that first half, all of that plank work that we did, but a little bit of hip mobility. Hopefully that didn't feel too rough. And we're ready to go for a little bit of core work. All right, now from here, we're in that nice forward fold. Those legs are long. We're going to roll it down onto our back. I'm going to take my hands out into an A-frame and my right foot up towards the ceiling. I'm going to take some nice big hip circles. I'm going to go across the body first. So coming down and across, around, out, and back up. Use your core. I don't want those hips to move a whole ton. They can move a little bit. That's okay. But keeping it nice and controlled. Toe pointed or flex, whichever feels more comfortable for you. So a little bit more hip work here. This is a little different than that other version, that 90-90, that's okay. Go ahead and take one more nice big circle across the body and then switch it up. So same thing, other direction. This time we'll start away from the body, around, across, and up. Fabulous. Give me one more circle in this direction. And then keep that right foot up towards the ceiling. Right foot up towards the ceiling. Here we go. We've got our straight leg stretch up next. So lift the head and shoulders. Grab that ankle, that calf, or that thigh. Lift that left leg off. We've got our double pulse and scissor to switch. So 1, 2, scissor to switch. Keep it going just like that. If you're moving a little faster or slower, as always in this one, that's okay. Try and keep that chin away from the chest and keep that core engaged by keeping those shoulders lifted. Excellent, excellent work. Nice. Stick with me for another couple seconds here. Next time that you grab that left leg, go ahead and keep it there. Set that right heel on the ground. Lift that left, and we're going to go right into those hip circles, second side, hands in that A-frame across the body first. Fabulous. Excellent. Keeping those hips nice and stable. I'm not doing a great job of it, but nice. One more circle in that first direction, and then switch it up. Switch it up for me. Last little bit of hip work here. Alrighty, one more circle in that second direction. And then same thing, we're going right into that straight leg stretch. So left leg up, go ahead and grasp it. Grab that right foot up off the floor, double pulse, scissor to switch. Here we go. Excellent work, excellent work. Stick with me here, stick with me here. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull those knees into the chest. Let that head and neck relax down. Give yourself a second, maybe rock in circles or side to side. We're going right back to that core in just a moment. So grab your recovery pose. All right, here we go, back to it. We're gonna do a modified version of our bicycle up next. So it's gonna look a little bit different because our timing is gonna be a little bit different. We're still starting with that 90 degrees, those knees up off of the mat, fingertips behind the ears still. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, and then pulse. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. We'll switch on each of those. And then that third one, now my right elbow is back to my left elbow is back to my right knee. And then I'm gonna pulse there. So I'm not gonna move all the way away from it. I'm just gonna pulse. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, pulse. Right there like that. Get it going for me here. We've got 1, 2, 3, and pulse. Keep moving. So you should alternate the leg that you're pulsing on because we're doing 3 and pulse. Keep it nice and controlled. And as always, the lower and longer you can get that long leg, the more challenging this will be. We're here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Go ahead and take that little bit of a break. Choose your recovery pose, knees in, windshield wiper them, take it out long. You guys are doing awesome. Whew, we're almost through this. All right, we're changing up those muscle groups. Go ahead and take that right foot up towards the ceiling, but bend that left knee and plant that left foot. All right, so we're still working that hip a little bit here, but we are going to take it into a glute bridge instead. Add a little bit of core, add a little bit of posterior chain. Hands can be down by your side or up towards the ceiling to make it a little bit more challenging. Single leg glute bridge, press those hips up and then bring them back down. Now, this might be a little bit more of a challenge than, say, something where we have it crossed over because you have a little bit less range. We're working on pressing up, keeping those hips even, and then bringing it back down. But we're still working that hip flexor with that foot up towards the ceiling. Nice. Keep it going on that first side for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant that right foot, take that left foot up. Same thing, second side. Here we go. Press it up, back down. Try and keep those hips nice and even so that left hip is going up at the same pace as that right hip here. Awesome work, you guys. We're here for 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant both feet. All right, couple of reps here. Press it up, bring it back down. If you want this to be more challenging, just hover those hips, don't bring them all the way back down. We will get a little hold at the end. Excellent, excellent. All right, so we are going to take it up for that hold in 3, 2, 1. Next time you come up, press those hips up, give me that hold. Now we're keeping those hips nice and even. We're keeping that core engaged, so we're not letting the hips, we're not letting the glutes do all the work. We want the core to be supported here. Again, hands can be down by your side. If you want this to be more challenging, we can reach up. If you want even more of a challenge, add in that march. Knee in towards the chest. Keep those hips super even. We're just here for 10 more seconds. We're just here for 10 more seconds. Stay with me. You guys are doing awesome. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Go ahead and set those hips down. Let those knees fall to the side. Give me that reclined butterfly. So maybe they're more like here. That's okay. Just find that nice stretch. All right, now this is going to take us into our option for our roll-ups. So if you'd like to add that little bit of extra challenge, keep those feet right where they are. If you know that's not quite going to work, your roll-ups are a little bit tough, you can bend those knees and plant those feet. Either way, we're going to find that inhale to take those arms up overhead. Our exhale is going to give us that momentum to come up and over, and then you can stay up tall, or you can find a little bit of a stretch, leaning it forward. Give me a couple reps there. Go ahead and take it at your own pace. So this might feel a little different than your regular roll-ups, a little less pressure through the bottom of those feet. But we are almost done. We are almost there, you guys. A little bit more work with me. Excellent, excellent. Wherever you are, give me 2 more, all the way up, all the way back down. So if you were halfway up when I said that, give me 2 more after you get back down. I was, so I've got to do 2 whole more ones. When you finish that second one, go ahead, bring it back down onto your back and choose that recovery pose, recovery posture. If that butterfly from your back felt good, you can stay there. If you prefer, you can windshield wiper those knees. You can take it out long. You can pull the knees in towards the chest and find that little rock side to side or in little circles. Fabulous. Go ahead and bend those knees and plant those feet for me. Cross that right ankle over that left knee. Pull it out away from your center line and then pull that left foot up off the mat. You can interlace those hands underneath that knee. We've got that nice figure 4 stretch here. Thinking as usual about opening that right knee kind of away from the body. So as if I was placing my hand here and pressing, but just activating in that same direction. And let's hit our spinal twist while we're here. So send that left foot to the ground, bring that right knee in towards our center line. Nice T with those arms. My right ankle is the outside of the left knee, so we're going down to the left. So that right ankle is underneath that left knee. And you can look over that right shoulder to complete that twist if it feels good. Nice. Go ahead and bring it back to center. Let's switch that figure 4 to our second side. So left ankle over that right knee. Pull that right foot up off the mat. You can interlace underneath that knee. And again, pressing that left knee actively away from the body. And then go ahead and send that right foot down to the mat. Pull that left knee in towards your center line. Arms out into that nice T. My left ankle is on the outside of my right foot. So we're going down to the right, or my right knee. So we're going down to the right. And I'll look over that left shoulder. Go ahead and bring it back up to center. Uncross that ankle, pull those knees in towards the chest. We're gonna do a little rock and roll to come up to seated. So just start nice and small. Give yourself that little bit of momentum. Give yourself that nice little massage down the spine. And then when you have the momentum, you can bring it up to that seated position. When you get there, then go ahead and take those legs out nice and long and bring it into that fold. Very nice. Go ahead and lean it back. Plant those hands behind the hips. Open through the chest. Pull the shoulder blades together. One more time each direction for me. Bring it forward to that fold. And open it up behind for that chest opener. Fabulous. Go ahead and release that stretch. Bring it on over to comfortable seated. We're going to finish with 3 nice deep breaths, leading with those arms. Our big inhale takes us out and up. When you get to the top, nice big stretch long way from center. So pause here for me. Maybe interlace those hands, press those palms up. Maybe just reach up, maybe lift the chin. Exhale brings us down and around. Same thing again. We'll have that pause at the top. Inhale takes us up. Exhale brings us down. And on this last one, those palms are going to meet up overhead. Our inhale takes us up. Palms meet. Exhale pulls the hands down to heart center. Thank you for joining me this Wednesday evening. I hope you have a great rest of your week. If I will not see you on Monday, a great Thanksgiving. The light in me honors the light in you, bowing as we say namaste. All right, you guys.